Okay, I want to do a quick little video here on how to glue up the top of your table, and doing either a 2 or a 3 board glue up. Now, if we look at this illustration here, we have a 2 board and we have a 3 board. The key thing on both of these is you want the outer boards to be cupping down to the table aprons. As you recall, boards cup against the grain, so on a 2 board we want the grain both going like that, and on a 3 we want it reversed. We want the outside ones cupping down. I mean, ideally we would have this pattern, but they all have to be going the same way. That's because of cosmetics. That's okay. Now, somebody else glued this top up. Now, this is really a bad idea. You never want your packers to be thicker than your board. I mean, you're trying to stop denting the boards, I get that, but these should never be higher than the board because they cause the board to rack. So that is something you need to be careful of. Also, this was glued up yesterday and the person left glue on it. Bad idea, because when that gets scraped off, it'll take wood fiber with it. So here we have a couple of clamps. Here's our top, already laid out. Okay, so I've got a couple of pieces to illustrate the proper way to do this. Now, what I do when I'm gluing up a slab, I'll give it like 4 cranks in, so I have plenty of room here. And then I'll bring it in so it's tight, and then back it up 3 or 4. This allows me to stand everything up, okay? This allows me to stand everything up. So, I actually like these types of bottles, very nice for gluing. I like that tip. Lets me put an even piece down. To glue this, 1 little strip, 2 little strips, 3. Okay. I'm going to bring this one up. I'm resting it on the orange part of the clamp. I am not resting it on the threads. You do not want to put glue on the threads, okay? And I'm putting 1 strip here. And on each one of these, I have put it towards the back of the board so that I've got these pieces of wax paper from sanding blocks to protect the clamps. You should always protect your clamps. It doesn't take any work to do it, and it keeps the glue from building up. I'm just going to give a little bit of a rub back and forth. I've got a little bit of squeeze out coming. Do the same thing here. And then I'm going to fold the clamp head back because they want to lift. And then slowly tighten my first one. Not very much. Tilt the second clamp head back. Give it a little bit of a tightening. Okay. Now see, that lifted it up, so I'm going to loosen it, push it back down, tighten it again. But on doing any of these glue ups, I didn't put my finger in the glue and rub it across. I didn't bother getting a brush. You can see we have nice consistent squeeze out. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a 3rd piece on here to keep the clamps out of the glue. Set it down and bring it in, okay? Don't go crazy. You can actually force a glue joint dry if you squeeze it too hard. So there, I've got it glued up. I'm going to write down a time on it. And then I'll give it probably a half of an hour. and then I'll come back and scrape off the squeeze out. Do not ever take a wet rag and wipe the squeeze out all off. That will just create a glue slurry. It will go into the pores and be a nightmare when you come to finishing it. Also, do not let the stuff completely dry. If you do that, when you go to scrape it off, it'll take wood fibers with you. And just to let you know, this is going to finish out at 5/8, so I took it down to maybe a 32nd to a 16th above that, and I will take it to final thickness using the time saver. That way I won't be risking any kind of tear out at all. So come back in 25 minutes to a half hour, scrape off the glue.